Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be making some crispy air fryer fried chicken wings for you. So if you've got a hankering for chicken wings, this is the recipe you'll want.
Sizzle, serve,
First
yum.
thing that I do, guys, is I make sure I'm grabbing a pack of chicken that I got this on sale for like $8, so that was good because the chicken was originally $5.99. What's going on over here? First of all, with this kind of chicken, I always clean my wings. I don't know, some people don't clean their wings. I clean my wings. I just make sure I clean them over, I want to say lukewarm water, and then I immediately start seasoning them and doing other things. But we're going to clean our chicken first. I'm just running a little bit of water, guys. I've got my gloves on, and I also have these wings. I'm just going to rinse them real quick. I like to clean my chicken, guys. That's just me. I'm just going to clean them off like that. And once I just like to make sure there's no slimy film on it. And that's just a preference for myself. I know that the chicken is going to probably expire soon. I'm going to go ahead and just cook them all. I know that everybody in the family is going to want to have these wings. So, oh my gosh, look at that. There's a little feather. I'm just going to pluck it out. That's why I do like to be able to clean my wings for that very reason. Yeah. In the comment section, do you clean your chicken? Some people just prefer to have it out of the package, but I like to clean my chicken. I don't do this with other meat though, just so you guys know. I do this with steak or beef. I just do this with chicken. All right, let's go ahead and get our chicken prepared. During this time, I have a few paper towels that I'm ripping up, and I'm just segmenting them. And I want to do that because I'm going to need to pat dry the chicken. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take a wing, and I'm just gonna pat dry it. I'm gonna absorb all that moisture from the outside. And I am then going to take a knife. I'm just gonna fold that to the side. And I'm going to then cut my chicken wings. Yes, I'm cutting them. I'm using a pretty cool knife right here. This is the Master Mason knife. If you want this type of knife, make sure you are going to the link in the description. So, I don't know. I never like these little things, so I'm not using those. But anyway, you cut them up, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it on this tray right here. I don't have any kind of oil or anything because the fat from the chicken is going to render down onto the pan, and it's going to be enough to make sure it's not sticking completely. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to season it after this, but right now we've got to make sure we pat our chicken dry. So I went ahead and I patted each piece of drum and chicken thigh, and I'm just going to put them in the bowl for now, okay? And the reason why I'm putting them in the bowl is because I'm going to toss seasoning in there to help evenly distribute the seasoning on the chicken. Alright, so I've got 3 seasonings here. I'm going to be using Himalayan pink salt, and optional for carnivores. You don't have to use this. But I want some seasoning on these wings. I'm just gonna straight up tell you. This is garlic and black pepper. Normally, if you're doing strict carnivore, you're gonna have to put this to the side and just use salt. And for some, it's gonna get the job done. I've never tried it with and without salt. So for this batch, I'm gonna put like 2 wings to the side that have, I'm gonna use the flats. I'm gonna have 2 wings that I'm gonna put to the side that are gonna be with salt without the other seasoning, and then the rest is gonna have seasoning, so I could just kind of give it a try. All right, so I'm gonna have that one, and let's see. So I'm gonna pretty much do 2 wings with that. The rest is gonna be with seasoning. I eyeball it, honestly. I just sprinkle it on the top. I sprinkle it on the top. And then I can't tell you the exact amount that I use. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I use like seasoning, I just coat it till I see like the top. So you see how I do it like this? I just coat it till I see the top like that. And I do the same thing with garlic. It's something like my grandmother used to do when she used to cook Spanish food. She'd make like Puerto Rican dishes for me, and I would just kind of do the same method. I don't do a particular amount. So right now, and I'm just putting all of that seasoning by just mixing my hand in there, and it's gonna give it a nice light seasoning. So as you can see, this is seasoned really well. I have a stainless steel pan that I use, and I use it for lots of different things when I'm roasting chicken, especially if I want to do chicken drumsticks, like the whole drumstick, not like wings, and they come out really good. You might be like, what are you doing? I'm trying to maximize the space that is on here, so that way I can put all the wings on. So that's what I'm doing right now.
So I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward through this because you don't need to see this part.
All right, so normally I would be able to put the rest of these wings in here, but I don't want to do that because the pan is already crowded and you want to try to get some aeration around it so it can crisp up. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to place this in the air fryer. Again, my seasoning on here is light, but I think for my family, I'm just going to put a little bit more pepper so it just has a little bit more of a kick. And I think that they're gonna like it. I'll tell you right now, when it comes to seasoning, they really gonna want a little bit more. So that's just a little bit more garlic powder. Normally this is how I season, so I never really tell you a full amount because this is usually how I do my seasoning. We're gonna put our food in the foodie. And I'm going to take out this little grate, I know, and I'm going to place my chicken on the third rack up, and I'm going to place it in there, and then I'm going to start it, and this is the degrees that I'm going to put it on. It should be on the screen. I'm going to tell you, you're not going to leave your chicken on the whole cycle. You've got to flip it over so it can be crunchy. Now I have the option of using this, but I have to clean it and I just don't have time to clean it. So I'm just showing you another alternative way. If you do have this and it's clean, which I need to get a new basket, I would put a tray under it. So if anything is dripping, it's not going to drip onto your foodie on the bottom, and it's not going to drip onto the heating bars. So that's one thing. The second alternative is if you have a metal tray and a stainless steel pan like I do, which I'm just going to show you real quick before I start it. Normally it comes with a rack and you can kind of rack it up, right? That's another alternative on how when you can cook your wings and you want to air fry it. I'm doing it this way because this is what I have available, but I'm just showing you how I cook them. So now we are putting this on air fry. I've got this to 390, but technically you want to make sure it's up to 400 degrees, okay? I made sure I have a double check because the settings sometimes change. So I've got mine for 25 minutes, but halfway through that process, in about 11 minutes, I have my AI assistant's gonna help me, and they are going to alert me when I need to flip these wings. Ideally, I really wish I had this rack for that size, but I don't know what happened to it. So we're just gonna go with the wings we have. I do have little wings, so we're gonna go ahead and prep those wings right now since I have a small tray for it and we can use it. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and put my just salt wings right here. So if you're doing strict carnivore, this is how you want to do it. I try to space them out a little bit, like that, giving them just a little bit of air between them. And then on the other side, I'm just gonna have these other wings for my family because they want the seasoning. All right, and that'll be the next batch that'll go. But this is also a cute little tray that I use if it's just a single or a single serving for one person. I have that link in the description as well for these wonderful pans. So this recipe that I'm pretty much giving you can be carnivore, strict carnivore friendly if you eliminate the pepper and you eliminate the garlic. But also, if you're keto, this is also going to be a great addition for a meal as well. This could be like for a snack, or if you're just hanging out with friends and family and you want to be able to have something, or your carnivore buddies want to be able to have something. This is something quick that you can whip up. So I got this hot sauce. I'm not sponsored by them, guys, but I'm just going to use this for some wings for my husband because I know he wants wings. He may want some buffalo wings, so I'm making this. So this one, with this sauce, it only has aged peppers, distilled vinegar, and salt. So it only has 3 ingredients in it. So I like the fact that it has the minimal ingredients, but also if you're just wanting a kick, right, this is going to be, of course, keto friendly. While we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and make this buffalo sauce. So I'm going to just use like at least 2.5 tablespoons of butter. I'm putting it in here. And I'm just going to let this thing melt. I got it up on high heat, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm kind of staying and I'm watching my butter, just to give you an idea. That's my butter right there. And I'm also going to put some black pepper and garlic in that as well, but not until I actually have this fully melted. Keeping it simple is really easy when you're doing carnivore. Like, I'm not sponsored by any of these seasonings, but you know, I like using Morton pink salt because for me it has a really good taste. And then I heard about like really good health properties when you use pink Himalayan salt. Also, I'm just using what I got on hand. You do the same thing. I went to Kroger and I bought these, and this is what works for me and my family. So you just do what works for you and your family. You'll never hear me say, oh, you must do this to do this, you must do this. I'm not strict carnivore when it comes to seasonings because sometimes I want a little bit of variety. If you're wanting a little bit of variety, you can slowly add seasonings back into your diet. Just see how it affects you with maybe one meal, and then kind of note in a journal how that makes you feel. Let's see, we still got some time to go. We've only got 3 minutes in, and our butter is not melted all the way, but I'm just kind of moving it around. I'm going to take it off the heat so the butter doesn't burn at this point because that's going to taste burnt, and you don't want that. In the meantime, I'm still leaving it over the heat, and I'm kind of moving it around like this so the piece of butter in the middle melts. We're going to go over to our bowl here. I've already put some Louisiana hot sauce in it. I'm guessing I put maybe about 1/3 of a cup of that in. Like I told you before, I don't like measure stuff out. I kind of eyeball it, and that's just how I am. So I know some of y'all might be like, well, I don't know how much you use, but this is how much I use. I would love to know that in the comments. But as you can see, this is the sauce that I'm making for my husband. That's the buffalo sauce. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of pepper to it. And I'm going to add garlic to it. I don't think I'm going to add salt to it just because it already has salt on the chicken and it already has salt in the sauce. So I just thought more salt would not taste good. So I'm just going ahead and I'm mixing up the seasonings. And all right, you hear that? That means we have to go ahead and flip over the wings, okay? So that means 11 minutes fast. That was fast. All right, we're gonna go ahead. We're going to pause our wings. Hey Google, stop. The AI is just gonna keep going. All right, so So it looks a little cooked, but I'm not going in there with my other gloves. That's not gonna be smart. But what I am gonna do, since I'm kind of done with that part, hold on, let me just throw this away, sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and pull my chicken out right now because it's ready to flip. You can see that it is dry on one side, and I'm going to flip them over. You could use a fork. I'm going to use tongs. Tongs work best for me because I just don't want to get burned, guys. That's just me. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to flip this bad boy over to the more moist side. And like I mentioned before, I don't put anything on the actual pan when I do this because I know that, again, when that chicken is cooking, that chicken fat is going to make the pan a little bit moist itself. So as you can see, it's not like fully sticking. All right, so I'm just going to keep flipping this over. Now what I would like is to actually put this on the grill. That'd probably give it a nice taste, a grill taste. Okay. All right, we've got our flats. You know what's funny, guys? Tell me which one you eat. Do you eat the flats or do you eat the drumsticks? I eat the drumsticks. I know I'm weird. But since I've been on strict carnivore, I've actually have not been opposed to eating flats. What is going on with this one? All right. We're gonna go ahead. Woo, I saved that one. That almost fell over. That would have been it. All right, we've got our wings. We went ahead and we flipped them over. And now we're gonna just leave it in for the remainder of the time, which is 15 minutes, okay? So I went ahead and remember we started off 400 degrees on an air fryer for 25 minutes. It's at the 15-minute mark. We're gonna go ahead and let it continue to cook through. When we're done, we have another step. I've already got the sauce in place. I'm gonna take them out of here, throw them in the sauce, and throw them back in the air fryer for about 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and check the wings right now. And they look kind of weird, I know. But this was the recommended time for the wings. I think I'm gonna actually cook them for just a little bit longer, because they kind of look a little like yellow, like they could still go for a little bit more cook. So I'm gonna put them in for about maybe 2 more minutes, okay? And then I'm gonna take them out. So the time now is 27 minutes. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna reduce that time to 3. Let's do 3 minutes. I wanna make sure that chicken is cooked. You may have a steak that's rare, but you cannot have rare chicken. If you do, you will make yourself sick. So it's always important to veer on the safe side. If you want to cook your wings a little longer, I would do that. But I'm used to seeing them brown and really brownly toasted, roasted. I want to say almost like a warm brown. That was like a light brown. It needs to be a little bit more brown. So for me, that's an indicator that it's cooked correctly. Once that comes out, I'm pretty sure it's going to be well cooked, and then we can get our wing sauce going. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I say I want my wings a little bit more brown. Before they were a little too yellow, like I was telling you. It has that light tint, that light brown tint on it. That is what I was looking for my wings. So now that we've got that tint going on there, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna mix up my wing sauce real quick. And I'm gonna toss those chicken wings in here because I want to make sure that all of the pieces are evenly sauced. So I'm going to go ahead and start throwing those pieces in there. I know this is cooked. Ooh, that looked good. So we're gonna put all them pieces in there. Oops. And what I'm also gonna do is now we're going to mix it up. I want to make sure I'm tossing those in real good with that sauce. If you notice, wing sauce is on the bottom, so I got all that sauce, and guess where it's going? It's going back in the air fryer. Yes, indeed, it is going back in the air fryer. Because you're not going to want to eat wet wings like that, I promise you. So, we're going to go ahead. I might as well throw these other little wing friends in there so they can also get a little toss. Now, normally I would put more sauce on it, guys, but since I have had a limited amount of sauce, that is unfortunately what I'm working with. So I gotta just work with what I got. So I'm gonna put two more. I'm gonna put two more wings in there. I'm just gonna toss that about, get a nice glaze over it. Same thing. Now we go back in the oven. This one, for the glaze, I'm gonna put it anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, just because I really want it to just crisp up entirely. You might be like, Mel, you gonna put them other wings back in the oven? Yeah, because I want them crunchy. And that's just how I like my wings. So we'll see how this goes. This was more of a test. I wanted to see what would happen if I used the wings without baking powder. Some people put baking powder on it. I'm not opposed to it, but I just wanted to see what kind of crunch I would get without it. So let's just test it out and see. I'm gonna put this on 5 minutes. I was trying my hand at wings, but the one thing that I forgot in the beginning was you gotta make sure that you're using baking powder, not baking soda. That's gonna make it salty and taste weird. But baking powder is supposed to help with crisping this up. So I went ahead and I tossed a little bit in the sauce. I want to say I would use a little bit over 1/4 of a teaspoon of that. Yes, I actually kind of eyeballed and measured it out. And then I just coated it with the wings, because the wings were not crisping up, although they are cooked, but it needs to get crunchy. You know what I'm talking about? Restaurant crunchy, where you bite into it and there is an amazing crunch. So the sauce is looking great. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sauce is looking good, but we gotta crisp them up. So I'm gonna throw them in there for another what? I think I'm gonna throw them in there for another 5 minutes. All right, let's see, 4, 5. All right, let's start. All right, this came out way better. You're gonna see, this is what I was looking for the chicken. This is now, you know, has been thoroughly cooked. And we're about to go ahead and give it a try. I'm gonna do a little test. I always tell you guys to be careful, but I'm just gonna go ahead and test it. I could see that it did crisp up. This, okay, so the baking powder method does work. It doesn't always make it all the way. If you have it on a pan like this, of course, the other side is still going to be soft. So if you can get a rack to cover this, that's going to be good. But now I'm going to put this to the test, and I'm going to tell you if it tastes good myself. I'm going to try it. I'm going to let you know how it tastes right now, okay? So I'm going to get me a small wing since it's kind of hot. Let's see. Let's go with this little drummet. I'm all for the drumsticks, guys. I love drumsticks. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste. Whew, hot. Sorry, it's so hot. This actually came out good. I'm a little surprised. It took me so long to have to keep baking it. So now the total amount of time that it's come out to is not 30 minutes. I don't know who's doing 30-minute wings out there. You tell me in the comments if you could do this in 30 minutes. But it almost took me, I put in the foodie 3 times at 3, 6. I needed at least 50 to 55 minutes to really make these wings do good. So at the end, I just tossed in, and I'll show you the baking powder I used. I actually used Rumford baking powder, and that's what worked for me. This is what I had in it. If you have something different, if you could try to get aluminum free, that helps. But yeah, I made wings for my family, and then I'm gonna be making wings for myself that I have in the fridge that I'm gonna put in the foodie as well. But yeah, so far I think it came out good. Okay, I just tried one of my delicious wings here. It was good. But I gotta say, if you can get a different powder that is, and you gotta make sure you look at the back. It said cornstarch on it. But I like how my wings came out. So if you recommend a different baking soda, a baking powder for me, let me know. That was what I had on hand. But it came out delicious. Now, if you're wanting a different recipe and you're like, no, I love wings, but I really need something that's hearty, go ahead and check out this beef bowl that I made. It is slamming. I'm telling you, if you feel like real hungry, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, this meal goes all around the clock. Simple to make, especially if you need something fast. Go ahead and click on that video right there. You may ask yourself some questions like, why is it that I don't feel as hungry on the carnivore diet? Why is it that when I'm eating, I just may not feel as fulfilled when I have like carbs? If you're feeling like that, make sure you're eating this meal. Go ahead and click on that video right now.